Okay, students, so we're going to have a new page in our interactive notebook that we're going to simply title 2.2 Sales Tax and Discount. As a matter of fact, even though we're going to talk about so much more, that's what I put in my table of contents. This is page 29, Sales Tax Discount, and you'll see, again, we are going to talk about so much more than just those, but that's a good way to title it. This is Algebra Objective 2, Standard 2 still. So if you quickly turn to page 29, you can see that this just barely fits into my interactive notebook. So I'm going to close that and put that away for just a moment, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do. You'll start at the project table and get this paper, and you can see that there's not much trim off. So the best way to do it is to take your paper and fold it hot dog style. Then, holding it to the light, you can clearly see where the print ends, and they have almost an inch of a margin. I'm going to cut all of that inch off. That will give me the right height of my paper. Now, your paper is still too wide, so I'm going to turn it to where the print runs closest to the edge, and I can normally hold this up to the light and I can see it, but I can see here I'm going to cut about a half an inch, and since I'm cutting that from both sides, that will be about an inch when I'm done. Now I cut that really close, so I'm going to make sure, oh, you can see I almost cut off that word. It says sent there, but I was lucky. I have space all the way around. So now I'm ready to take my notes. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, and I will try to be careful. I'm going to have to move it around to make sure I always include everything. And so I'll do the best that I can for that. Okay, so our title is in here. We're going to figure sales and tax and discount, but that also includes how to figure commission, you know, the amount of money a salesperson earns based on the amount or percent of sales. That's what commission is. We've talked about that in class. Talking about tips. You've probably been with your parents when they've left a tip for the server who took care of them at a diner. And then separately, we're going to talk about percent increase and decrease. It's really done the same way with just one small change. And so I'm going to include that. Now, when we talk about a tax and a tip and a commission and a discount, all of those things are found simply by taking a percent, like 3.5%, and changing it to the decimal, 0.035, by what we called in class DP, Dr. Pepper, or moving that backwards 2 places. And then we would multiply by whatever value that we have left. I know in these 7 questions that we will definitely be doing that multiple times, pretty much on every problem. Then sometimes it's necessary to, after we've done that, to add back the amount we've gotten. For example, once we find a tax, usually we need to find the total after tax. Well, we add a tax onto our total. Same thing with a tip. We add it to our original amount, and that gives us a total after tip. And after a price increase, if we need to know what the new price is going to be after an increase, we'll have to add back the change to the original. Sometimes we'll use our common sense and realize, oh, I need to subtract. That's right. I like to buy things on sale. So that means I need to take my original price, and then I'll DP and multiply to get the discount, and then I'll subtract the discount to find my new total. So the total after discount is the same thing as the sale price. Sometimes they'll just call it a price decrease, and we'll need to do that. Finally, sometimes, and not often, but they will refer to a percent of change, like a percent increase or decrease. And that is always done by finding what the change is. Either the price goes up or down, so subtract, find that change, put it over the original, and then just divide this out. You know, you're going to hear me call that box top, probably. Before we get started, you're going to want to go down where it says problem number 7 and just cross that out. And number 8 as well. Then change number 8 to problem number 7. There you go. I have done that before. This is the second time this year I've done that. I've numbered things too quickly. I thought this was a separate question here, and actually it's just referring to this one. So altogether, there's only 7 questions. I'm ready to get started. These are actually really fun, and it's where my students always seem to excel because they have what I call street smarts. They can just figure things out from experience of helping out their families and being shopping, and they really seem to understand this well. So problem number 1 says an article regularly selling for $45.05 is advertised at 55% off, and they want us to find the sale price. Well, we've talked about sale price. I know that when I find the sale price, I'm going to DP multiply and then subtract it from the original price to figure it out. Before you start these problems, you need to grab a calculator because we will be using it frequently. Here we go. If it's originally 4505 and I'm going to take off 55%, I need to DP and multiply. What is 55% as a decimal? Yeah, you know it, 0.55. So, using my calculator, I'm going to say 4505 times 0.55. This gives me the discount of $24.7775. What? This is big enough right here, and there seems to be a glare. This is big enough, this 7, to round this 7, that's right, to an 8. So what I've done here is I've found the amount I need to take off by DPing and multiplying. I have found the discount. So now go back to my original 4505, and now I'm going to take off that 55%, which was 24.78. So 4505 subtract the discount of 24.78, and I'm only left with $20.27 that I have to pay. Yeah, kind of common sense, right? Well, let's talk about problem number 2. Same exact situation. I'm going to find the sale price. So I'm going to DP, multiply, and then subtract. So here's my percent. When I DP it, I get 0.10. Multiply it to my cost of $30.65. And I get $3.065. Once again, that 5 is big enough to round. So I'm going to get $3.07. But I've got to take this off the price. So I started at $30.65, and I'm going to subtract my discount. So $30.65 minus $3.07. They probably didn't round it because I get $27.58. So they say $27.59. Okay, very common thing to happen. Usually your families are like mine. We buy things on sale, so the price is going to go down. We find out the percentage off, and then we subtract it to get the new price. Let's look at problem number 3. Problem number 3 is talking about a value that has decreased by 52%. Decreased by means I'm going to end up subtracting it, okay? I'm going to find the total after a price decrease. So it sounds like it's different, but if you think about it, a sale price is the total after a price decrease or the total after a discount. So even though it sounds like I changed it up, I really haven't. So DP, multiply, and subtract. What is 52% as a decimal? 0.52 multiply to the original cost of $54.90. You've done that in your calculator, and you get 28.548. And yes, this 8 is big enough to round that up to 28.55. So that's how much they decreased it. It was originally 54.90. So let's subtract the two and see what we have left. 54.90 minus 28.55, you're going to get 26.35. Nice. Let's look at problem number 4. Finally, something a little different. We're going to find the percent of decrease. Let's go back up to our notes. Percent of decrease means I'm going to find the change by subtracting the two prices and put it over the original. Now I know I have to move my notes off camera, so let me just put over here. Change over original. You're going to hear us say that over and over again. So to find the change, I'm going to subtract 30,000 minus 28,500 is 1,500. So my change was 1,500. What was my original? 30,000. And when you box top that, what do you get? 0.05. Well, that's not going to throw off my kids because my kids know that 0.05 is the same as 5%. So the answer is 5%. And the price did go down, so it's a 5% decrease. Let's look at problem number 5. Percent markup. Well, let's go back here. It's not a decrease, but when we mark up, it's an increase, right? Mark up means the price went up. And it's going to ask me, what is the percent markup? The percent is the key there. So again, change over original. Can you find the change? It originally was 71.50 and then it went up to 77.22. So take your calculator, subtract those two values to see what the change was. The change was only $5.72. In the business world, that's not so bad. The original price was $71.50. Wholesale price usually refers to how much an item costs before it hits the marketplace from the wholesaler, the person who makes it, before it goes to the store, like Walmart or Target. So 572, and you know this division line means to divide, or we call it box top slang. That's not. And we get 0.08, and that's not going to throw my kids off. They know that is 8%. Okay, now we get to have some fun. These problems are exactly what we do every day, only the state says now you have to learn real life. That means we might get something discounted, but then we have to put tax on it. So we really have to find the price after the discount, then work another problem to figure out the tax and add it back to the sale price to get the final cost. Again, you guys can do this. To find the discount, let's go back up to our notes. To find discount, we simply need to DP and multiply. But to find the discount, we know that that's something we're going to subtract. So to find the total after the discount, we're going to end up having to subtract it eventually. Okay? So we're going to find the discount and then subtract. So here's the original cost, $56.99. Now, here they didn't give us a decimal, but you know what to do with that. Take your calculator. 1 divided by 5 is 0.2. And so, or 20%, either way, but we need that decimal. So 0.2 works great for me. So 56.99 times 0.2, 11,398. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. And the secret's not that I'm going to round that up. I know you can see that when I multiplied 56.99 times 2, I got 1139 with that 8 hanging here. So that rounded it to 1140. But my secret is the first time I did this problem, I got it wrong because I put 59.99 instead of 56. Always be careful with your work, especially when you're using these inexpensive calculators. We've talked about how they're not good quality. They're easy to miss buttons on them. So make sure that you're always using common sense and reasoning. So they're going to take off 20% or $11.40 off. So let's do our orange here. Let's find our total after the discount. So we started at $56.99, but I'm going to take off or subtract the $11.40. And when I take off the $11.40, I end up with $45.59. That is my price after the discount. But now what? Now, let's look up here. I need to find my total after tax. Yes, I'm going to have to solve for the tax, which, is just a DP multiply again, but then I'm going to have to add that tax back. So let's head back to our problem number 6. Our price is now only $45.59, down 20% from the discount. But now I take it to the register and it's time to put the tax on it. So it rings up $45.59. Then they put the tax of 7.2. Well, as a decimal, I know to move that back twice and get 0.072. So I've DP'd and now it's time to multiply. 45.59 times 0.072, $3.28. This is my tax. And what do we do with our tax? We've got to add it back. Remember, my register rang that up as $45.59. Add back my $3.28 in tax. And I end up with $48.87. That was a lot, but it was fun. Here was our original price. We DP'd and multiplied it to get this $11.40, which was our discount. What do we do with discount? We subtracted it, and this became our sale price. We took our sale price and multiplied it by our tax to figure out what that amount was going to be, and then added it back to the sale price to get our new total price. All right, that was our heavy problem, but fun, and I hope you followed along. This last problem, again, pretty simple, percent discount. Well, percent discount is the same as a percent increase or decrease. If they want that percent, we're going to start with change over original. It's a good thing you're listening to this video because you probably couldn't make out my writing. We got to figure out what that change is. You might start with $19 and then you need to subtract the $16.15 you paid for it. You can hear me using my calculator. I should be able to do that in my head. $2.85 is the change. So the change is that it went down $2.85 over the original of $19. I'm really hugging that bottom line there. I'm almost out of space. When I take $2.85 and I divide by 19, I get 0.15, and that's right, 15% was the percent it was discounted. So that was a percent discount question. All right, guys, that is a nice paper, lots of notes, so much information. Take this, glue it in. Remember that this is going to be page 29. And put that in your interactive notebook. And maybe work some accelerated math questions with a friend or your teacher.